Hello, you're on the Kinetic Intellect channel. My name is Mikhail Dementiev, and I'm an expert in nonverbal communications, body language profiler. Here on this channel, we understand what our body is telling us, how our facial expressions, gestures, plastic poses affect the impression we make on others. The viewers on my channel know that for several months now I've been carried away by the analysis of the members of the British royal family. It's just a storehouse of information for everyone who'd like to learn to develop observation, and this time I will be reviewing as many as 6 episodes of Netflix Harry and Meghan series, which came out in December 22nd year, just produced the effect of exploding bomb with all sorts of unexpected revelations. But the most important thing is how the characters of Harry and Meghan appear, and we will figure out what it affects. So in this review, we have 3 main storylines, which I will be highlighting for you. They will go through all 6 episodes. We will have 6 separate reviews so that you would clearly understand the whole essence of these heroes and the whole idea of Netflix as an American producer of these series in general. So in the analysis, we have storylines about racism. A lot is said about this. We will look at the interaction of our heroes with the British royal family, with their relationships with the press, and we will focus on the personal manifestations of the heroes through their actions. This is the psychological part of the analysis through the phrases. This is a psycholinguistics and paraverbalics, and my favorite, body language, and nonverbal and kinetics, how we move, what poses we take, and what happens to our body in general, what it is telling other people with its angles, vectors, and so on. I will show you all the evidences, and we will study through the methods of manipulations by the viewer's consciousness, with the director's ideas, operator's work, and some hidden symbols, and the messages that were buried in the series. Well, if you are interested, please like this video and my approach. Don't forget to hit the like button. It helps me to develop the channel. Subscribe to the channel, share this video with those of your friends who are interested in both Harry, Meghan, and the British royal family, and in general are interested in psychology and the ability to understand people. Let's start with the context and the following, that all the interviews were completed before August 22nd, and that is before the death of the Elizabeth II, and this is an important point. And it says that the first-hand information and materials are used from the personal archive of Harry and Meghan, which no one has seen before. An important caveat: we immediately start talking lies because it stated that the members of the royal family refused to make any comments on the contents of the series. This is not true, and members of the royal family, British royal family, have already made official announcements on that. Not a pretty way to start the series, right? We are offered to believe this. This is the very first shots. Pay attention again to what we are offered to dive into these series, and to the very, very beginning. We will see absolutely confused Harry. He turns his eyes back and forth in a panic mode and says that this is Wednesday, some March. I don't know what Wednesday of some March, unfortunately. And I won't risk showing you large episodes because the producer will not mostly be likely like this, and I hope that I will be able to show such small fragments for you on YouTube. There were already been precedents when they were banned and demolished, and everything is forbidden to distribute. So don't be offended. I'll show you little pieces for you. They will be super obvious, and we immediately see that such a paparazzi context is very sacrificial. As if Harry is running away all the time, he needs to hide there. There will be no living evidence that the paparazzi, that Harry and Meghan were being stalked by the paparazzi somehow didn't let them leave in peace. Although we will be constantly offered to return to the context of the non-stop pursuit and life in fear. Now we see these supposedly paparazzi who are chasing Harry and Meghan even from the boat, trying to make shots of their personal life and how Meghan appears. She's without makeup, she's very unpretentious at home, dressed with a towel on her head. However, like all the girls, Here, the director is trying to make her close to us, so dear that we trust her very much. And she says, I just want to go through this. But there's a pity that she shows to herself, telling us it's just I just want to go through this. She smirks. Her eyebrows are arched. This is the fully synthetic sadness, which she knows how to play. And one more evidence here is that this emotion disappears very quickly. This is where she turns it on, and this is where she calmly looks down on her nails. This is totally artificial sadness. She causes this self-pity. It's absolutely feignedly false in general. The line of freedom of independence immediately begins. As if they didn't have freedom and independence before, of course. It's also a lie, and it's clear that there is a royal protocol, that these monarchy, there is a monarchy, it has his own rules, but freedom, and on her own, which Meghan has fought for, she could still get, and being with her husband. They show how happy they are in California in the 20th year, such a constant feeling of the air of American freedom as they work, show large expanses, and a very important moment, the composition of the series intro itself of the series. These are also encrypted messages, that we are divided and our dreams are destroyed. Because look what happens. Meghan is alone with the child, Harry is turned away, rejected from them, he stands far away and his kite falls. These are encrypted messages so that we feel also sad, separated, and start sympathize the action in relation to this couple. And the series itself is about to begin. And the first scene after the series intro shows us body attunement between Harry and Meg, and we are offered to believe this mutual attunement exists, that they are doing well in a pair, because having left the royal family, refusing to perform royal duties, they were left completely alone. Here, when the presenter says that now I want to show you something. Have a look. See? Here she wants something to show them, but Meghan has such an atypical reaction to danger. She approaches the subject. You know, Harry moves away and she approaches. This is the moment. She approaches. Oh, what's there so dangerous? That doesn't feel right. I suppose she knew what was there and absolutely overacts here. No, I didn't, no. Suspect. But they want to show her fragments from the Hello Canada program. She's still such a young, such a baby squirrel. Remember a cartoon with this shy squirrel? I will be showing you lots of such cases. I will be showing you them in much detail. Here everything begins absolutely with falsehood, and here the host asking her, Prince Harry or Prince William? And she says, well, Prince Harry, of course. She didn't know, of course, how it would end, but I have a suspicion that it was not just a goal setting, that she still conceived this as a very, very long time ago. And how Harry reacts. Firstly, he laughs nervously, and he has what's called in kinetic science terminology called limbic escape. That is, he wants to leave right away. He's okay with it. But he starts pulling and rubbing his polo shirts. He adapts their clothes in very nervous moments with pursing lips. And when he hears mentions of his brother, apparently they don't really communicate. And if they communicate, it's all very bad. And tight lips, swallowing, here is caused by the mention of William and Meghan's reaction. She really devalues something like this. Like, come on, that's nothing serious. She pulls away from him. It also looks very ugly. She tries to call him down, puts him a typical palm where he is probably used to sobbing, but does not let him touch this palm and removes the hand, pulling away, and Harry is left with us in anxiety. Further, look at Harry. There are many moments where he is afraid and hides some information. Still doesn't want to be fully frank with us. See? Our story is just at the beginning. And Harry switches to full-fledged concealment and fear. Does he know how this story will end? I think he doesn't know, as we. And look at the question. When Meghan asks why you decided to make this film, you didn't call you. It was you who decided to make this film. Look at her reaction. She rolls her eyes, sweetly dreams, but this is overplaying. We have such a little squirrel. She starts blinking. This is such a beautiful love story, she probably thinks. Well, what is it other than non-overacting? Well, why do we need these extra emotions? But how she answers. We will let people know about what happened and who we are. And she's talking with such tension, like this is the only version you should ever trust. Listen only us. Of course, no one will read the original letters, but for those who are interested in watching TV shows, it will be such a typical American fast food. And here again, the air of freedom is shown, that we are so happily, and we lived in terrible royal conditions before, with some kind of shack, not very nice. And look at the moment of such a disrespect. She's telling, I had a career, it was my path, and then Harry appeared. He did a plot twist in the moment, she says. And she has something, looks like something is going on over there, and someone is dragging her around, and she's so happy about it, remembers that Harry came and made a plot twist. Well, who, even it was true, would show these emotions so shiny? Her actor's past is really disturbing here, and I don't believe her absolutely in this demonstration. Look at the photo. According to the stories, the photo that made the prince fall in love with Meghan, how he talks about this photo. Look. I thought it was... Look at the tension on his face. Look at the tension on the stretched lower lip, the tense upper lip, forward-looking forehead is here. See? And the surprise and fear. Disgust is not there, but just such a monster. You may be surprised, but fall in love, really. And have a look. Meghan said that to get to know Harry better, pay attention to her gestures, how she shows that she is digging, scrolling, Harry is swallowing nervously. But it would be a very conflicting gesture if I will be showing like scrolling through your social feed. That's so disrespectful. Why would you do so? Harry is showing tension here, and he absolutely doesn't like it. When he was late for the first meeting, when they met at the restaurant, they had a date, look at how rude Meghan's body began to act. She remembers exactly that story. She is twitching her shoulders and said, if you are one of those guys with a big ego and you think that any girl will wait for you for half an hour, then I'm not interested in that. See, I think it's very scandalous tendency. She can swear and scandal very much. And here Harry is showing such a restrained contempt and shame. Yes, he was late. But is it worth to treat a man like that? especially on the first date. He wrote to her that I'm holding back, sorry, I'm in traffic jam, but anything happens. Like this publicity is calling him. Ah. See how shame catches him up with a restrained contempt here? He usually has such a left-sided contempt. There, I have the left side on my face, and he has usual contemptuous emotions, and we will see them in each series. And when Meghan was late, look how he speaks in a whisper. She was late. She was late. He speaks in a whisper, covering his mouth. And like she's also being late, but I'm not to talk about this. Like, help me, save me. These signs were even in the analysis of their engagement interview, which I made, and I will leave a link to it for you in the upper screen, and it also will be in the description on this video. Look at those signs. At the first ones that they are already between them in the engagement interview, Harry finds this amusing situation because he likes to whisper about her what you can't say, and you can say apparently a lot. And when the hosts asks about Harry's wishes, the wish list for the future bride, he said that I don't share it. I'm not sharing it. And he also turns on limbic escape and see his legs want to run away. He completely closes the groin. Apparently, it's such an intimate story that he's not ready to share, but here he is not ready to share. He will see such a pure contempt already for the presenters, for the hosts. Very rare moments when Harry can prove himself as such a high-status monarch. And he even wrote in his book that I'm a spare, I'm red-haired, and in general no one takes me seriously. But in those moments when he has the power to prove some information or not to provide, he enjoys the power precisely through such royal contempt. Finally, haha, I'm higher than you. And here, when he says that here's the list in front of you showing Meghan, he has such a shoulder spasm going on. Well, that is, the body does not turn on, or it does not want to confirm that Meghan is really the complete personification of the wish list for his chosen one. An interesting moment about childhood, Harry says that I remember that my childhood was filled with laughter, happiness, adventures, and here we see how his father Charles plays all sorts of childish games with him. They have fun here and there, and on the piano with his brother and mother Diana. A very strange moment. That is, Charles most likely took part in his upbringing. A busy member of the royal family could not always play with him all the time, but for some reason Harry absolutely does not talk about what his role father played in his upbringing. And we see photos of his mother, Diana, everywhere. Diana, Diana, Diana in his house, but nowhere there is a photo of his father. This is such a strange moment, and rather all there are serious psychological trauma. He has connected with this. He always says that I was Diana's boy. He repeats it many times, but doesn't speak about his father. Such traumatic childhood. And about the relationships between Harry and the paparazzi, I don't believe that he treats them so badly, and that he says that all my childhood memories were connected with the paparazzi. No, he played with them. He even made some cardboard binoculars, and he was amused there. There was no danger in this, and it is clear that he could hate them for the fact that they kind of took away his mother before they were involved in a car accident in which Diana died. But the paparazzi line was intentionally put there. And a little later, I will tell you why. And in Meghan, he kind of fulfilled his dream. He made such a transfer to his mother that he said that it's a lot in Meghan, so it looks like my mother. It's a compassion, empathy, warmth. In fact, it's just an unconscious resurrection of Diana, who is no longer here with him. Here we are specially shown the footage to confirm that this mental transfer as Diana with her sons and running around in the garden. They found exactly the same shots, or specially filmed the directors and cameramen. Well done! How exactly the same condition Meghan runs and play with Archie. You see these tricks that should make you just fall in love with Meghan. You suddenly don't If you suddenly don't like her, write in the comments, and I will have a conversation with you in the comment section. And again, footage from Diana's funeral, that is, we feel such horror, evoke sadness to you. Here we see young Harry, young William, and have a look at their reaction. What an interesting difference. When Harry talks about the fact that they should have traveled to Botswana, while still little acquainted, like us, he saying about this. We're going to live in a tent for 5 days. See how excited he is, how excited. He remembers it all. And how Meghan remembers it all. Like, what? Botswana? I'm such a luxury girl. Come on, what Botswana? But where would we live? In a tent with a stranger? What if I don't like him? What are the conditions there? And where is somewhere to wash? Well, what a nightmare. But in the end, she says that fortunately we really liked each other there. Apparently something bodily happened to them because the body turned on very well. And she remembers these pleasant moments in Botswana. In general, a lot of shown about their mutual attunement, how they hug, how they are tactile, and how they're constantly squeezing. She holds his hand, just not letting at all. Here and then, and at all performances, wherever she can, she clings to him. He is still quite tender to look, and then her clothes will sprout very, very serious. I wonder who's the author of these productions, of these shots like this. Like, if it was everything planned, it's unlikely that it's random and so tender pictures. I have a feeling that it was directly exposed. These frames were deliberately done, so that it was such a maximum body attunement. Somebody was definitely already with them. Who? We will fix it during our series. Look, this is how Meghan is using her grip. Look how she holds him here, how she grabs his neck here, and how she hangs on him there. Large numbers of different photos can be found that I've been reviewing an engagement interview, here an illustration of how she held it and what Harry experienced at the same time. Help in the comments. Many people wrote about the hand and the Harry. If you need some help, blink twice. Here Harry listens to what Meghan will say now, very humbly. It turns out that she's such an ideal victim for him that he wants to save. I will tell you a little later about this triangle. And she does everything to be this victim. And how exactly she manifests herself as a victim, we will analyze with you in each episode. She says that I will relate to all these oppressions as if we live in some wilderness, because this is alien to me, but I believe that you can protect me and you will do everything to protect me. And look how she's telling this, what happens to her body, as if we live in the wilderness, and this is alien to me, and just throwing away with her hands. But it's not he who came into your family, Meghan. It's you came in Harry's family. So have some respect for British laws and monarchical foundations. We will talk about this in the second series. Be prepared for this. Be sure to wait for this release. But such a rejection of the environment that you came with your dirty feet and began to stomp and destroy everything, and because of this, Harry had to leave the family. Here she shows absolute disrespect, and by what happens to Harry's facial expressions, you can understand how much he doesn't like it. Absolutely perfect victim and humble rescuer, how it looks like according to the classics of psychological drama triangle, or like a Kaufman's triangle, where there is an aggressor, persecutor in the form of a monarchy, there is a rescuer in the form of Harry with his traumatic past, the loss of a mother, and some kind of smoldering hatred for this monarchy, and a victim who, as we will analyze in next episodes, what she's of mixed race, that everyone oppresses her, they don't let here, they don't let her in there. She wants to be heard. We will listen to her mother and we will understand where these thoughts come from and where her body behavior came from. It will be very interesting. It will be also interesting to see how the participants in these stories change their positions along this drama triangle. Who becomes a victim, who is rescuer, who is a persecutor. See you next series. Please, if you like this series, push the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's communicate in the comments. See you soon. It was Kinetic Intellect Project, and I'm Mikhail Dementiev. Bye-bye.